Strategy started as a podcast about 5 years ago during COVID. And we have over 120 episodes. About 2 years ago, we found the need for bringing people together in community. And in the last 2 years, we've grown to about 7,500 founders, investors, and executives across Luma and LinkedIn. So thank you all, right? Thank you all for being part of the 10X community. So do subscribe to our event calendar on Luma so you can keep getting all these events regularly. Actually, before I go to the next event, let me quickly give a shout out to Wilkie, Leilani, Felipe, Jordan. Let's give a big round of applause. Say Leilani in the back. Fantastic law firm. They have expertise across IP and all startup law. So if your founders need any help, reach out to them. And thank you for hosting us today. Next, we want to acknowledge another partner, which is Makers. Makers is a global branding design agency. So I got a chance to meet the founder, Lakshmi Rebecca, a year ago, and I was so impressed by how she has built a huge following. And she's helped so many companies, large companies, as you can see, GE, Indeed, as well as startups like Waymo, to actually build their brands. So, how many of you are founders here in this room? Let's see a raise of hands. So, almost like 50%. And how about investors? Okay, looks like we have a few now. The founders are going to come find you, right? So we have a few investors, and so what do you find as some of the most difficult things to do when building a company? You can give a shout out. Is it product, or is it GTM? GTM, storytelling, brand building, right? That's why we need partners like Makers, right? So reach out to me. I'm happy to share. So thank you everybody for coming. Again, my name is Preethy Padmanabhan. I'm the founder and host of 10X Growth Strategies. My day job, I'm the head of marketing for Cisco IoT business unit. I just joined them last week. But what I find really exciting is bringing people together in community. So today we have the privilege of hosting two amazing leaders from the industry. Let's get to know them a little bit. Ankur, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Ankur Shah, co-founder and CEO of Straiker. We are a AI security startup based in Sunnyvale. I raised 21 million in seed round from Lightspeed and Bain Capital. Team of 40 in the Bay Area, helping large and small enterprises secure agents. That's what we do. Before that, I spent 5 years at Palo Alto Networks running the cloud security business. Again, joined Palo through the last cloud security startup acquisition. So I've been in cybersecurity for 15 years, and been a builder. Everything I've ever done, build and sell enterprises, B2B is all I know, unfortunately, but excited to be here.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ankur. Hey everyone, Nick Shevelyov, CEO and founder of vCSO.ai, and we are a boutique cybersecurity advisory firm. We help big companies like the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund think through cyber strategy, and we help small cybersecurity product companies build better products. And the reason this is our niche is because from 2007 to 2021, my singular mission in life was to defend the bank of the innovation economy. I was the CISO for Silicon Valley Bank. We became the fastest growing bank in the world at the time. And my mission was protect the bank. My secondary mission was help improve our clients' probability of success. So Nir would drive over. I tell Nir what I need in my firewalls. He'd drive across the street and he'd put that into Palo Alto Networks. And Jay would sit outside my office and we talked proxies, and that became Zscaler. And for many years, we were the earliest stage users of these clients. And so it was so much fun influencing the direction of cybersecurity in the Valley that when I stepped down 5 years ago, I published a book, Cyber War and Peace, Building Digital Trust Today with History as Our Guide. The book takes lessons from history and behavioral science and translates it into how to think about cyber risk management. And I started this firm. And so we've grown purely through referrals, but it's a lot of fun. And we're helping some of the coolest companies in the world. So thanks for having me today. Nice to meet all of you.
Wow, that's fantastic, right? How exciting that the speakers here got to build all these startups from scratch. Let's get started. AI is creating massive opportunities and equally massive attack surfaces. We all know about Mythos and all of the other things that's happening. So, Ankur, would love to hear your perspective on how is AI impacting cybersecurity across startups, big enterprises.
Yeah, look, I've been fortunate to have done like internet back in the days, many years ago, built an e-commerce startup, and then mobile, then cloud, SaaS, internet. It's easy to argue that like never seen anything like this. Um, I've talked to like over 600 customers now. Every big bank, healthcare customers, all of them are like already paid customers. There are two main use cases at the intersection of AI and cyber that often comes, right? Which is that what something like Mythos, which is AI for cybersecurity. Like how can I improve my vulnerability program, my SOC, triaging, etc., using AI? Right? Why do I need, 100 different tools and so many people? Because these models are so good at finding zero-day vulnerabilities, helping triage alerts, etc. So that's AI for security. The second side of the coin is securing the AI. We happen to be doing the second part, but because unlike the traditional security controls like the legacy firewalls, etc., which is protecting your network, we now have an adversary. Like, so imagine you're a security guard outside of your house. Somebody can sweet talk the security guard into revealing the secrets. But that's what's going on, because these models, these LLMs, these agents are based on natural language. Somebody can fool these agents into revealing the secrets. Like, if you have small children, you ask them, hey, when you go to school, don't take ice cream and cookies from strangers, blah blah. That's the system prompt. That's what they understand. But some malicious actor can say, hey, look, your uncle just sent me to have this cookie. LLMs can be fooled like that. Like, I know they're intelligent, they're supposed to protect themselves. That does not happen. All right. So it's a huge headache because these agents have access to what I call the entire enterprise operating system, infrastructure, data, supply chain. And anybody who says, well, look, I'm going to be a blocker, I'm not going to give agent access to anything to automate, that person's not going to have a job. Right? Right, like everything that will be automated, can be automated, will get automated. It's already happening right now. So the attack surface is near infinite. Adversaries has different automated tools like AI. What used to take days and days to do reconnaissance, where I break through your front door and then I find out in your bedroom you've got crown jewel, can all be fully automated now. I've got autonomous agents who are just trying to find different techniques. So it's top of mind. It's a big inhibitor. A big part of our mission is to just help enable secure option of AI in the enterprise. But yeah, securing AI, AI for security, both are super top of mind.
Thank you, Ankur. Nick, you talked about being in the birthplace of so many amazing cybersecurity starts, Palavantu Networks, Zscaler, and many more, right? It's in the last 25 years, you've seen so many changes and you're seeing what's happening right now. Tell us what is different, right? All your experience, we'd love to hear your perspective on what's going to happening going forward.
Thanks. In a lot of ways, it's, understanding what are the variables and then what are the invariables. And the variables are some of the rate of change and how the threats are evolving very quickly, and to the point that we now have frontier models and LLMs, but they can be fooled, right? And what are the invariables? Well, human incentive models are don't change. And so understanding what is changing, what is not changing, how do you architect your business in a way where you are positioned for what I would describe as mean time to adaptation. You position yourself to be able to continuously to adapt while understanding incentive models rarely shift, and understand the incentive models within your organization. I'll give you an example. I had to run an overt cybersecurity program globally, but covertly, I ran a counterintelligence program. Why did I need to run a counterintelligence program? Because the People's Liberation Army and Russia had deployed nation state threat actors, not because they wanted our assets under management, but because we banked 80% of the private equity and VC IP around the world. So they wanted to use us as an island hopping campaign. And so in that case, you're running traditional security controls, you're running non-traditional counterintelligence controls, and you're constantly adapting. And so I'll kind of wrap to this point, to this twice a year as I bring thought leaders together. And we just had an event about a month ago, and Dr. Stuart Evans, who's the author of Super Flexibility, which is about adaptation, and Dr. Neil Deswani, who is the author of Big Breaches, and his next book is AI Attacks, which is very relevant. And they talked about the fact that so many controls that we've had since the 70s still apply today, but that the rate of change is faster than ever before. And so how do we keep two opposing thoughts in place, that we continue to invest in the models that defend our organizations and have for the last 15 years, while constantly adapting and understanding how things will change for us. And so mean time to adaptation, to me, is the key sort of theme for the environment that we're living in today.
The great insights. I think the adaptability and adaptation, both the technology and people, and all of those fantastic thoughts there. Ankur, I want to deep dive on what you mentioned earlier. First of all, there's a huge explosion of AI native startups. And you talked about how with AI, you have to think about securing the AI. How do companies go about doing that?
In cybersecurity, the general in our businesses is like they say, as things change, they remain the same. The fundamental things that have remained the same is most CISOs are asking for, I need to know visibility of all the agents. That's like number one. We just deployed with a customer that discovered 11,000 agents in their environment. So this is not like developers building agents. This is like citizen agents, right? Okay, well, every time you get a high importance email from a boss, tell him to not F.
There's a particular.
That's an agent, right? Like that's an agent. Like anybody can build that kind of automation to improve their lives, right? So first, visibility. Like I need to understand what agents are running, what are they doing, what MCPs, what tools are in place. The second big piece that we hear is governance. Like okay, look, build paved paths. Okay, like if you're going to use Claude, in the last 3 months, by the way, I was talking to Pradeep just earlier. I just I've never seen anything like this. I've seen everything. The explosion of Claude family of product, Claude Code and Claude Cowork, is just staggering. I mean, just oil and gas companies, like technology companies, banks, some companies in Timbuktu, doesn't matter. Everybody's got Claude. Everybody's Claude build. Everybody's token maxing everywhere. So and Claude is now like this, it's like we just handed a machine gun to a bunch of people who don't know how to operate a knife. Right? Like they're going to shoot themselves and everybody around them. And that's the problem with Claude, right? It's not the code it generates. It's I got access to these tools, MCP, download random packages, do this, do that. And show of hand if you've heard about YOLO mode. YOLO? Okay. This is a YOLO mode. So right now what agents do typically, and they're very good at this, right? Like these research labs are not silly. So they have human feedback loop. Hey, I'm about to send an email. Would you like me to do it? Yes, confirmation. YOLO mode is no confirmation. Go. Don't ask me. It's too annoying. Why are you asking me? Just do it. Right? That kind of stuff, right? So customers are worried about that. You need controls and guardrails. Yeah, YOLO mode can be enabled. Human in the loop must be there. Must approve the action that requires read, write, delete action. Like who heard about the company's database got deleted 2 weeks ago? What was the name of the company?
What would be right?
Some hardware, whatever. The database got deleted. Completely wiped clean. The agent just took care of it.
Problem fix.
Yeah, exactly, right? So they need control so that they can do it at paved path. I think that's it. Visibility, some sort of guardrail. I think that gets people enough in control. They feel like they are in charge. There's a laundry list of stuff. It's security. I mean, any guesses for how security startups there are, security companies? Security is a very unique industry.
1,000.
Okay, who thinks it's 1,000? Who thinks it's less than 1,000? Who thinks it's more than 1,000? Who thinks it's more than 3,000? Who thinks more than 4,000? Yeah, so I think it's pretty close.
Because
It's a very unique industry.
The security event, it had thousands, and I was going crazy understanding.
Exactly. And the reason why I give you that example is that there is no dearth of Preethy customers having to do like, oh, you got the security already, yeah, but do you have super advanced security? But you're a bank, you must have the super advanced ninja security. So we're selling all this stuff to customers. They gotta buy all these things, but you start with visibility, some governance and control, some guardrails. I think that's good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Wow. That was quite entertaining. Thank you, Ankur, for making it very entertaining. It's time for an audience poll. Like, we wanted to do this. One is, how are you using agentic AI? Are there any work streams you have collapsed? You can shout out, right? How are you using agentic AI? For engineering, marketing, sales?
Legal and engineering.
Legal and engineering is one answer.
Pre-sales.
Pre-sales, okay. Root cause analysis, engineering, yeah. Okay, I hear more engineering. Anybody using it for marketing?
SDR.
Yeah, a few DDRs, yeah, right? There's so many of these use cases for the agentic AI to collapse the work streams. Nick, I have a question for you based on this, right? Enterprise buyers are excited about AI, but many are also nervous, right? What are CISOs and security leaders concerned about when they're deploying this agentic AI and also working with AI startups?
And to Ankur's point is visibility for sure. If we're going to be deploying AI, I need visibility. And then I need traceability. I can trace activity and agency. And then I need visibility, traceability, and then accountability. Someone needs to be accountable for this. And so how do you take legacy governance structures with human org charts where people have identity and access management, the right people having the right access to the right resources at the right time, and then you deploy RBAC to support that, and then suddenly you have agents that are working 24/7, that they work across these organizations. And how do you create new governance ecosystems to deal with that? And a lot of organizations talk about, well, how do we deploy this so that we're not saying no, but we create blast radiuses? How do we leverage sandboxes so when things go out of control, someone enables YOLO mode, right? The blast radius is only so big. So those are some of the things that the CISOs are thinking about. I've been for many years part of the Bay Area CISO Council. These are the largest companies here in the Bay Area. We educate one another third Thursday of every month, and we talk through just problems. And everyone's facing them. Everyone's finding ways not to be an agent of no, but yes and is how can we enable this, get more productivity, because there's downward pressure from the C-level on down. And then there are these questions about, should we measure token usage as are people using AI enough? And then you can gain that. And so what are the right KPIs within organizations? And so I think the more mature organizations have experimentation going on. They've got large sandbox environments. They're learning from this and they're deploying this in order they're taking work breakdown structures and workflows into some of the points that are brought up here, and they're collapsing them and they're making them more effective. In some cases, you can actually reduce headcount. In other cases, you're going to create more margin for your business, and you're going to need employees to take advantage of those margins because you're going to give some of that back to the market you engage in. So those are the dialogue and sort of discussions that I've been involved in on a regular basis. Caveat here is that it depends on what industry you're in. If you're in a highly regulated industry, like I spent 15 years in financial services, you're going to be a lot more conservative in your deployment of AI. And if you're unregulated, if you're a startup, you're going to be in YOLO mode, right? So those are the two sort of broad spectrums.
There's just like beyond security, there's another thing that sort of as I'm, running the company, and every AI tool is not only welcome, encouraged, whatever I say, like just use one, use all. Which I realize in why there's like in the history of technology, maybe outside of mobile phone, I've never seen a diffusion of technology as fast as this. In at Straiker, and we're a small company, the people who regularly token max are salespeople. Which is incredible, right? Like think about it, right? Why? I mean, they've got Claude Cowork and Code connected to HubSpot, CRM tool, email, Slack. Every time I ask a hard question, they're just like, okay, here's a report. here you go. And this report looks beautiful. It's amazing. I'm like, oh my God, where did you come up with? So now, and I encourage everybody to use AI. So, I mean, they are just spitting out report. I'm like, you can go to HubSpot and just download the damn report. It's already there. You don't need to use AI for that. But the point is that the proliferation of this technology is unlike anything we have seen. It just bottoms up. It's making people's life easier, better. And we see this consistently across our customers. And so I think that it's good. I think it's really good for humanity in general, like as a force multiplier. We just got to use it safely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Actually, I just came from SaaStr, and Anthropic speaker was doing a presentation on how they have two funnels. One is the human funnel, and other is the AI funnel. So the whole thing, end to end, top, middle, and bottom, is done by AI. Only thing is they don't have to pay for their own tokens, so they're cheating.
But they do. And the VCs have to.
The VCs have to, yeah. Makes sense. Well, actually, I love to open it up for audience questions, right? Any show of hands, who has a question? You might have to come here and ask it on the mic.
With the current Mythos situation and in the open source community source code base existing in enterprises, what advice would I go to enterprises with, especially with the AI integration of security in this open source world? Because that's never been tested with this AI scenario of how this is going to get challenged and in legacy systems especially.
Yeah, so I guess the question is like, hey, like with the Mythos, what is the guidance for enterprises basically, right? Like in terms of 0 day. And I'm sure Nick has like a lot more to say about this. I mean, he's been on the other side. I've been a builder forever. Look, big picture, half the stuff Anthropic says is BS marketing, half true. You just don't know which one. And that then half the stuff that comes out on Twitter feed and this, that, and the other it's just PR stunts, marketing, all of that stuff. So I think it's important for people to recognize that, oh my God, holy shit, like the whole humanity, everybody's going to lose job or whatever. Yesterday I saw a report, by the way, which job function has seen a steady increase in the last quarter. You would not think even for 1,000,000 years, customer support. Like, so like the humanity, the way technology adoption happens in a weird way. Like, we'd like to think every second, oh my God, like I missed this, there's a new thing, new job function is dead. So now coming back to Mythos, important to recognize the average customer is already dealing with hundreds of vulnerabilities that Nick will tell you. If Mythos finds 1,000 more, it's not going to do anything more to improve CISO's life. An enterprise wants prepackaged solution where it solves their problem, burns down 0 day vulnerabilities, etc. So all of this is to say that if you are in application security, which we're not, you should use this technology but still deliver a shrink wrap solution. You could use Mythos as a model. But the idea that somehow customers have this thing and they'll be able to solve all their problems that they have like operational, I think it's silly talk. Like, oh, just because I have ChatGPT has improves it, but like lawyers are not going to use ChatGPT. They want a turnkey solution like Harvey that solves their problem end to end. And that's going to continue to happen. Don't get me wrong. Some industries will get disrupted. Some companies will cease to exist. I get that part, right? But I don't think Mythos in general will improve CISO's life anymore or make it even worse than it already is. I don't know if Nick...
Yeah, there's a lot of hype, obviously, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doom, and that always happens when something new comes on the horizon. And so with Mythos, you're going to see more vulnerabilities, and that's what the industry saw, and that's what Project Glasswing is, like top 40 organizations. They get to hear about it first. They get to go patch in order to preserve our way of life and our infrastructure. But there are certain data points that you could look at that Firefox had like 10x the number of vulnerabilities that they are patching for this quarter than about a year ago because they used Mythos to find those vulnerabilities. So maybe on average, you'll see the number of vulnerabilities that you have to patch go up significantly for a while, and then things will normalize over the course of time. But what is happening is that this is creating concentration risk for organizations. To your point, is they're going all in on Anthropic. They're building in Anthropic, and then who's going to support this? What happens when your star developer built it and then left? and that creates concentration risk. And then it also slows down the buying process. So people who are selling products that compete with something that you could build in Anthropic are suddenly seeing, hey, I'm going to wait and see if I can build this myself. And so it's actually impacting us on a wait and see basis in the in the cybersecurity product world. So I would just say that yes, there'll be more vulnerabilities, but there's always more headaches in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is fundamentally the management of adversity, and that adversity never ends. It just changes over the course of time.
And I get by just related, I get asked a lot about, oh, what about project Glasswing? And I'm like, what about it? Like, okay, like what? So like, oh, it's like 40 Illuminatis somehow getting together and discussing the future of cybersecurity. Look, I'm very optimistic, usually never cynical about this. I hope it doesn't sound cynical. My thesis is that the history of technology, no consortium has ever worked out. Its commercial interest always trump what's good for everybody else. This is a big PR thing. Everybody wants to be part of it. Like there's a FOMO, like, oh shit, like I didn't get involved in that list. How can I get in? I don't know, beyond that, it's like solving anything. Like, I mean, there's just no way like CrowdStrike and Palo and Zscaler, like, okay, like high five each other and just solve this problem pretty bad. Nobody's interested in that. So I think, like, again, just to, use Claude Code, use Mythos as a force multiplier if you're a CISO to solve your security problem. I think that's a very real thing. If you don't, you won't have a job. But the idea that just because I have a model, I'll solve every problem is just, I think it's a, like, it's just a lot of work that goes in politics.
We can take a couple more questions.
Security being a very crowded market, and what has changed for you, especially since you've been building companies in terms of discovery and demand gen?
Again, just it's always PTSD when people ask this question. Like startups are so hard, so hard, so hard. It just gets harder. Like it's get harder. So what's changed? I mean, it's in cybersecurity. In my honest opinion, there's nothing else that in all of technology is only one thing that matters: AI. Cybersecurity is only one thing that matters: AI for AI security. To be honest, right? Again, my biased opinion, but that means it's attracting so much investment, so many startups, so much noise, so much fraud. Everybody is doing this. Everybody. So what has changed? And it's just like distribution is harder than ever before. Earning customers' trust. Like Nick, like, okay, like, dude, oh yeah, thanks, I've got great pitch, but you are the 3,719th vendor who sold me the same thing. So now that's the problem, right? Technology gap shrinking. Anybody can, like, within 2 weeks build a half decent demoable product and tap on Nick's shoulder and say, hey, Nick, like, I've got something cool. Like, can I show you? Cheaper, faster, better. So that's really hard, really, really hard. So how do you build enduring companies? That's the hard part. Is it the data? Is it the team? It's no longer software, right? Like, what is it? And so that's something we think about quite a bit. The other thing I think about quite a bit is look, I've done enterprise and B2B forever. We called the death of the salespeople 20 years ago. Like, oh yeah, who needs salespeople? Oh my God, like sales and distribution is more important than ever before. So is the moat distribution? Because Anthropic is about like distribution, like we don't know, right? So raw unanswered question, first principles thinking, none of my old playbooks work anymore. People like Nick, I used to be able to take out for dinner and say, hey man, come on, let us do a POB. No, like Nick has like 100 other vendors like me. So that's a huge, huge challenge right now. You gotta overcome it.
We get one last question.
I haven't raised it for a non-tech perspective. So I started using Claude as my browser extension to Chrome. And I'm like, I don't know what data I'm giving it. And yet it's so easy. It makes life so easy. How secure am I with my data and emails?
Do what you gotta do, like to the extent it's helpful. Look, Nick will have a perspective on this one. They're seeing your data. You are the product. We've known this for how long now? Like 20, 15 years in social media. You are the product. If you're not paying for it, you are the product. They're seeing the data, and of course they're using that data to train their models. But I mean, you better believe it. Like if your data is going to OpenAI and Anthropic, they're not like they're sound companies. So it's not like this Cambridge Analytica kind of stuff. It happens once in a while. So yeah, your data is seen by model companies, and I'm pretty positive. And they take a lot of security measures, so I don't see what you put on ChatGPT, right? Albeit I hope not. And they do a lot of work towards that. But But yeah, like, I mean, privacy and like all of that stuff, like, yeah, forget about it.
I'm doing ChatGPT now. I'm saying, do this on my email. Will you on extension?
Yeah, it sees everything. I mean, yeah, like, and it's going to use that data to train their models. I mean, yeah, like, it's just how it is. But you're getting huge utility out of it, right? That's a beautiful thing, right? Like, that's, I don't know, Nick has a perspective.
I would just add, when you think about it, think about the degree to which a technology empowers you. It may also imperil you. And then ask yourself on that ratio, what is the value at risk? Right. And if it's highly sensitive data, you might want to rethink what you're doing. But if it's stuff you can find in the phone book, then maybe it's worth the trade off. And so fundamentally, know thyself and know thy assets. How are you using the technology? How does it empower you? How may it imperil you? And what's the true value that's at risk there? And then if you can assign a dollar value and it seems like it's immaterial, you probably don't have a problem. If it's material, you might want to pause and rethink what you're doing. So the way to think about it.
Listen to Nick, by the way.
One quick last question. What is one piece of advice that you can share with founders that are trying to build in this crowded cybersecurity and AI market?
Boy, that's a hard one, Preethy. Just one, right? There are so many. But I would say don't fall in love with the solution, fall in love with the problem, and then let the obstacle be your way. The challenges that you're solving for is solving a problem for the world. That is your pathway forward. It's going to be hard and arduous and lonely. But if you maintain that sense of discipline and execution, and you have a vision of what the future will look like, I think that might be the one quality that I was advocate for.
I guess my number one would be, the world is full of advices every day, do this, do that. Like, just ignore everything. Just none of that. It's all somebody's lived experience. Live your own damn experiences. Like, it just, everything is junk. Other than basic, how to take care of your health, how to have a sound mind, being optimistic. Everything else is junk advice. Find your own path. That's number one. Number two, including the advice I'm about to give you. Like, just say, everybody's had an opinion, right? Like, it's okay. You don't listen to anything, right? Like, listen to your heart. Number two would be, look, winning is not about playing every game. Winning is about playing the games you can win. And you build a company, right? Like, find out like who you are, what are you going to be great at, what seems effortless to you that seems like a lot of work for others. Just do that, pursue that path. Number two. And then number three, it's just so much noise, so much noise. You could be doing 100 things. I think there are only two things that matter: build and sell. That's it. Sell like your life depends on it. And I have a sell, build, sell model. Sell what you're going to build what you just sold, now sell what you just built.
Wow. Great way to finish our panel. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Ankur and Nick, for being here with us.